You know. Sometimes events happen that make even people like me crawl out of the woodwork and vent. Something truly horrific happened in the world of emulation. Some time ago, Nintendo sued the developers of the popular Nintendo Switch emulator, YUZU, for facilitating piracy at a colossal scale. Now sadly YUZU is no more. They had to give up without a fight, so to speak, and give Nintendo everything they wanted. And it affects the Nintendo 3DS emulator Citra too. Both emulators got taken down from the Android Google App Store and will no longer be available for download there. Though for the time being, the emulator's APK files can be found online for those of you who wish to practice video game preservation. Furthermore, vital files such as the firmware files and GPU driver files, such as the Turnip and Qualcomm drivers, and product keys, are still available online, so grabbing a few of them would be a good idea in case this horrific event gets to them as well. In the recent lawsuit by Nintendo against YUZU's creators, the group called Tropic Haze LLC came to a sad but not unexpected end. The team has agreed to pay $2,400,000 to Nintendo and stated piracy was never our intention. The company agrees to be permanently disbanded and end any work they had on YUZU, such as hosting YUZU, distributing YUZU's code or features, hosting websites and social media that promote YUZU, or doing anything else that circumvents Nintendo's copyright protection. Tropic Haze LLC had to surrender the yuzu-emu.org domain name to Nintendo. They had to agree to delete their copies of YUZU and all circumvention tools used for developing or using YUZU, such as Tegra RCM GUI, Hecate, Atmosphere, Lockpick_RCM, ND Dump Tool, NX Dump Fuse, and Tegra Explorer, and hand over any physical circumvention devices and modified Nintendo hardware to Nintendo. They also agreed to not delete any other evidence that infringes Nintendo's IP rights. YUZU and Citra developer Bunai confirmed in his YUZU Discord that both the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo 3DS emulators are affected. Sadly, Citra got mixed up as well because there was significant code shared between the projects, due to both of them using similar key files. Bunai of the group Tropic Haze LLC posted the following message on their Discord channel on March 4, 2024 at 11:22 AM. The message reads as follows. Hello users and Citra fans, we write today to inform you that YUZU and YUZU's support of Citra are being discontinued, effective immediately. YUZU and its team have always been against piracy. We started the projects in good faith, out of passion for Nintendo and its consoles and games, and were not intending to cause harm. But we see now that because our projects can circumvent Nintendo's technological protection measures and allow users to play games outside of authorized hardware, they have led to extensive piracy. In particular, we have been deeply disappointed when users have used our software to leak game content prior to its release and ruin the experience for legitimate purchasers and fans. We have come to the decision that we cannot continue to allow this to occur. Piracy was never our intention, and we believe that piracy of video games and on video game consoles should end. Effective today, we will be pulling our code repositories offline, discontinuing our Patreon accounts and Discord servers, and, soon, shutting down our websites. We hope our actions will be a small step toward ending piracy of all creators' works. Thank you for your years of support and for understanding our decision. And with this, the message from Bunai ends. You can count this post as a final goodbye. You can also feel the gun pointing to their head with quotes like, "We have been deeply disappointed when users have used our software to leak game content prior to its release and ruin the experience for legitimate purchasers and fans." I hear the second half of the statement very often coming from companies. That's their go-to line when dealing with piracy, when it was proven time and time again that piracy doesn't affect video game sales negatively. In fact, most pirates are the type of people to buy a copy or two of a game for a collection. In some cases buying both the physical and digital copies. And the much more alarming quotes. We believe that piracy of video games and on video game consoles should end. And also, we hope our actions will be a small step toward ending piracy of all creators' works. That would truly be a cataclysm for all of us. It's already hard as is to keep physical media alive. If piracy dies, which it never will, but if it does, then we will lose any ownership of the media we buy. A sad day indeed. It's bad enough that game discs and even digital downloads don't come full and complete to begin with. Honestly, piracy in a lot of cases is the only way for you to really own something. In many cases, games are shipped to consumers broken and unfinished.
Got my eye on you.
And to top it off, the DRM protections that games come with today not only slow down games, they can even crash them. And in some cases, put unnecessary load on your CPU, which can cause even bigger problems. Anyway, as of today, all of their sites and media went down. The way Nintendo was able to attack Tropic Haze and their emulators was by pointing at the emulator's functions. Like most similar emulators, YUZU and Citra need the BIOS files in order to function at all. YUZU and Citra use product keys files in order to interact and activate their games. In other words, decrypt the game so the program can read and use the game files. And with this information, Nintendo are strong-arming Tropic Haze to ask a judge alongside with them to specifically find that YUZU circumvents its copyright protections by using those keys, even though the emulators don't come with them. They are asking a federal judge to say yes to this specifically. The official demand from the Italian plumbers group is as follows. Developing or distributing software, including YUZU, that in its ordinary course functions only when cryptographic keys are integrated without authorization, violates the Digital Millennium Copyright Act's prohibition on trafficking in devices that circumvent effective technological measures, because the software is primarily designed for the purpose of circumventing technological measures. Those fucking bastards. Now, even though YUZU is dead, it doesn't mean other emulators are next on the chopping block. Nintendo would have to go after all of them case by case and will have to fully enter a courtroom. Nintendo didn't accomplish much other than kill this one group, and pissing off everyone else. They didn't stop emulation. You can go online and get the last version of YUZU right now. And the files needed to run games, and even the games themselves. Not only that, the YUZU source code was a free open source code. So others have their files right now and probably planning as we speak. This lawsuit is a real shit show. Yet again, the big corpo attack a small group for doing a better job than them. And making money from it, even though that the money came from donations and Patreon. In some bittersweet news, the DS emulator, Drastic DS, is free to download, so do grab it before it goes off the App Store. Well, this is the end of the video. I can't tell you what comes next, but I do know this. Piracy won't die from this, and even though I get why Nintendo did this, I don't have to like it. Your media and ownership of it is dying at an alarming speed. So vote with your wallets, and don't let them pull your nostalgia strings. Well, that's it. The only thing left is to go to the funeral.